But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You're right, Rock. That is how winning is done. This is Tim's New York Giants Trade Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Oh, it's the first day of camp, and it's the first day of practice here on July 24th. I got up at 5:30 in the morning for this. Why? Because technically, in my mind, it's the start of the NFL season. Oh, you know what? It's like there's that long pause. There's that long lull before you get to football. You gotta deal with baseball. Thank God we had the Knicks for a while. But you know what? There's nothing like football. Not just Giants football, all football in general. There's just nothing like it. I absorbed college. Hell, I watched the USFL and the UFL and everything else in between. There's just nothing like the game. Anyone who's ever played the game at a high level understands this. That competitive nature never goes away. That ability to think even in your 50s that you could still compete will always be there because of the fact it's something you had played since you were like 8. And that never goes away. So when you see the first start of training camp, you get all excited. I believe the first game is August 8th. So we're rocketing towards that. It's just one of those things, guys. It's the excitement in the air. We also have the episode of Hard Knocks. The title of this video was Joe Schoen Living with the Fear. And this window into the Giants is very eye-opening. Brandon Brown, I hope he gets a job soon. I hope he gets a job somewhere because he looks like he's ready to be a general manager. He gets it. He really does. He gets it. Joe Schoen, not so much. He thinks he's this master negotiator. And I kind of laugh because I was talking to a friend of mine who was, he's in the car business. He's a car salesman. And he's actually a very good car salesman. He's been one for like 25 years. And he makes a lot of money doing it. And he says there's certain people that come into the dealer, you know that they're either going to be a pain in the ass or they're going to pretend to be a pain in the ass, but then really have no intention of doing anything. And that's Joe Schoen. He really has no intention of doing anything because he lives with fear. It's the fear of the unknown. And I think you can see a lot of that in the Giant building, even down to Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll at one point in time whips out his cell phone and shows all the quarterbacks that failed in the last 10 years who were drafted in the first round. It's very funny that Daniel Jones should be on that list. And he barely glosses over the quarterbacks that hit. He talks about the Burrow class. He talks about everything else. But yeah, there's going to be failure in life. There's only 32 first-round picks every year. And a lot of times you're going to try to find that key, most important position, which is quarterback. Joe Schoen, the master negotiator, calls up New England and offers them 2 first-round picks. He's like, so if I give you this first and naturally this first, I give you next year's, and you're going to tell me you're going to want additional picks. Did you not see the Trubisky trade? Did you not see the Manning trade? Joe, do you not see any of this? So you really thought you were going to call up New England and pry away that pick by giving away 2 first-round picks and maybe another pick? Oh, Joe, you truly live with the fear. As a biker, I always tell people this, and I've been riding bikes for 30 plus years. There's moments of fear when you get on the bike, when you throw a leg over the saddle. There's moments of fear. And the question isn't if you're going to lay the bike down one day, it's when, because it's an inevitability that it's going to happen. But the question is this: do you stop riding because of that fear? Or do you continue to ride and do something you enjoy to do? They broached on Ernie Accorsi, and I do think that HBO did a disservice with that because they really didn't get into the Ernie Accorsi story. And we've talked about this story before. It's very simple. When he was the first-year GM over in Baltimore in '83, John Elway was there. It was the big class. It was the big quarterback class, laden with Hall of Famers. John Elway came out and said, "I'm not going to the Colts. I'll go play baseball with George and the Yankees." Very serious about it. Just like Bo Jackson said, "I'm not going to Tampa. I'm going to go play baseball with the Kansas City Chiefs." Well, Ernie Accorsi still wanted to draft John Elway because Ernie Accorsi knew, even that at that young of an age, that when you see your franchise quarterback, when you see your future, when you see the person that could potentially ride your team into the sunset with that championship trophy on its saddle, you go out and do it. Management forced him to make the trade, even against his best wishes. And evidently that gnawed at Ernie for years. So when 2004 came rolling around, he was the general manager of the New York Giants. Ernie Accorsi said to himself, he's told this story before, if there's a franchise guy, if there's a guy there that you need, if there's a guy there that you believe in, if there's a guy there that can change your franchise, you move heaven and earth to go get him. Because you don't win without a quarterback in this league. You do you do the impossible to make it possible. And that's what he did in 2004 with that Eli Manning trade. We heard for years after that trade how Giants gave up too much. Sean Lights Out Merriman, Phillip Rivers. How we gave up too much to get Eli. Ernie stayed the course. Why? Because Ernie understood you have to live with the fear. You have to live with the fear that if it goes horribly wrong and you make the mistake, then you just made the mistake. But you have to remember this: at the end of the day, at least you tried. At least you took your shot. Joe Schoen, to me, lives with too much fear. And it's interesting. I think John Mara lives with that fear. I think a lot of people in that building live with that fear. Malik Neighbors was the safe pick. Joe Schoen went through all these scenarios where Malik Neighbors wasn't going to be there. Well, he was probably the only one that went through those scenarios in his head. Because if you go by the draft next, you go by the professionals, you go by the board, I think 90% of the people had Neighbors going to the Giants. And I know Joe was doing his due diligence and find out if their guy wasn't there, but that just tells me their guy was Malik Neighbors the entire time. So everything we saw on Hard Knocks, everything that's going on was just bullshit. Which is fine because that's what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to create a smokescreen about what you really want to do. But when everyone kind of knows what you want to do, when you want to go out and grab that golden jacket player, you do that. But I see too much fear in this organization. And that's what's kept us in the doldrums that we are, is that fear. It's the fear of making the mistake.
Telling me there's a chance. Yeah!
You have to have a little bit of Lloyd Christmas in you. You got to be willing to take that chance. You got to be this is year 6 with Daniel Jones, and all I keep hearing about is we need to roll up and get him a weapon. So Golden Tate, Kadarius Toney, Darren Waller, smooth sounds of Kenny G, Wando Robinson, already had Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram at one point in time. The list goes on. And it's amazing that when all these weapons fail, it's never the quarterback's fault. It's always, well, the offensive line sucked. This sucked. And they talk about in this show briefly how the first 6 games of the season didn't go as they thought it would. Well, this is also the same franchise that came out and said right before the beginning of the season, we're not going to know what this team is till week 4 or 5. What the hell were you doing in training camp that entire time then if you had no clue what this team was going to be? Great moments.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
And we didn't take the opportunity. You make a half-hearted attempt and say, well, so two number ones isn't going to do it. You're going to need another pick, right? You didn't even make an offer, Joe. Same thing with Saquon Barkley. Go out and test the free agent market. Oh, until the moron on Twitter, it's like this, because I made a comment that I purchased a Saquon Barkley jersey. and we're going to go watch Saquon play. And he goes, well, this is the kind of guy that just deserves to be bullied. Fucking bring it on. These shoulders are broad. And I don't want to mention something because a lot of people who know me think, oh, I'm a nice guy. But I click the switch. I'm as mean as a fucking rattlesnake. And I don't stop. I have zero fear. And that's the problem with the Giants. They live with the fear. They live with the fear. And that's what we have to look at this.
What I got to say you really don't want to hear because honesty ain't too high up on your people priority list, right?
Honesty? You want honesty?
And we're giving you the honesty today, guys. That's going to be the new theme this year. It's just blatant honesty. No more sugarcoating it. I always like when people go, damn, Tim, you've been sugarcoating it. I hate to see what it is when you're not sugarcoating it. Well, no more sugarcoating it. You want to know why?
Do you see the light? What light? Have you seen the light?
Yes! Yes! Jesus H. goddamn Christ! I have seen the light!
Because of the fact that if I'm going to continue to do this, I'm going to do it my way. Before I did it my way, but now I'm really going to do it my way. So strap in, kiddies. The diversity, equity, inclusion crowd better get their fucking helmet. And you better strap it on tight because this ride's going to get bumpy. Oh, so the Giants had some moves the other day. Evan Neal ended up on the PUP list. So did Aaron Robinson. And there were people like, Aaron Robinson is still on this fucking team? Yes, Aaron Robinson is still on the team. Neal had season-ending ankle surgery about 8 months ago. It's not surprising. It's not surprising. He hadn't suffered a setback. It's just the fact that he's not ready for camp. And they want to make sure that he is ready to go. When it's time to go, they want to make sure that he is time to go. That's why they went out and made the moves that they did, because again, they lived with the fear. In other news, Jalen Mills declared non-football injury list, which means they suffered injuries not related to organized team football activities. Oh, I love it, because that's the New York Football Giants. Quarterback Aaron Robinson is also on the physically unable to perform list. The both players, of course, were unable to pass the team's physicals, so that's exactly why they went to that direction. It's going to be interesting, guys. The first couple of days of camp, it's kind of boring, but you're going to see some things. We'll probably do daily videos. I haven't decided yet, but I might be doing daily videos this year. Again, haven't decided yet. We got to do a live stream. Oh dear Lord, great balls of fire! We got to do a live stream. One more person asked me when the next live stream is. I think I'm gonna go put my head in a blender. There's gonna be a live stream soon. Fuck, hell no! I may do a live stream tonight. haven't even decided yet, but we'll figure that out. I want to thank everyone that's been following Get Off My Lawn, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. We've been doing extremely well. Always did extremely well on the podcast. Picking up some traction on Rumble and YouTube. Never really wanted to be on those two platforms, but it's been a lot of fun. So make sure you check out that. Maybe I'll put the link below in the comments section. But we got to get ready, guys. It's time. It's time. We're also going to be doing some Knicks stuff. So that's always going to be fun. We're going to change a little bit of a direction of the channel. We're going to try to get into more New York sports and maybe just some NFL stuff in general. So we want to make sure that you stay tuned for that. And everyone that doesn't like my Saquon Barkley stance,
Fuck you!
and as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'll be awesome.